Imagine being laughed at and ignored by everyone, even when you are just trying to spread love and hope. What if suddenly something incredible happened that changed everything? This is what happened to Alice, a girl who, despite suffering, never stopped believing in God. When Alice said she spoke to God, no one believed her. Within days, however, those same classmates who had mocked her found themselves on their knees, asking for forgiveness. But how did this extraordinary moment come about? Alice woke up at 6 in the morning, like every day. She opened her eyes and turned to the window, where the sky was just beginning to be tinged with the first light of dawn. There was something special in that sky, a silent beauty that made her stop to contemplate it. Then, without hesitation, she knelt down beside the bed and, staring at the sky, began to pray. "Dear God, I thank you for this new day and for the light of the sun. May your light guide me today and touch the hearts of those around me. Give me the strength to face all that lies ahead. Amen." If you feel inspired by these stories of faith, miracles and hope, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. With a deep breath, Alice stood up. But despite the peace that prayer had brought her, a shadow of sadness filled her heart. She was a sophomore in high school, and school was a battlefield for her. She had no friends, and most of her classmates avoided her. They said she was strange, and her simple, modest clothing only fueled the rumors. But it wasn't her fault. Her father, Ray, was a very religious man and believed that flashy clothing would attract unwanted attention. Alice played by his rules, but it only isolated her further. When he arrived at school, the bad comments were not long in coming. "Good morning, sister. Did Jesus let you go out today?" some of the boys shouted, causing everyone to burst into laughter. Alice, accustomed to this treatment, let it go, even though each joke broke her heart a little. She was a shy, reserved and very devout girl. Her parents were strict and recommended that she only make friends with boys from church, which made her social life even more difficult. Despite this, whenever she could, Alice tried to talk about her faith to others, hoping that they would understand how important it was to her. She was convinced that God had a plan for her, that one day things would get better. But until then, she had to endure. Alice did not come from a wealthy family. Her father worked as a janitor at the church, while her mother, Colette, was a seamstress. When Ray got sick, Alice started selling candy to earn some extra money to help her family. But this also became a source of ridicule from her classmates. "Shouldn't God pay your bills, Alice?" they would say. She suffered in silence, but she never lost sight of her dream of graduating high school, going to college, and starting a new life, away from all that pain. One day, during a math class, the teacher asked Alice to go to the blackboard to solve an equation. As she stood up and walked toward the blackboard, she heard her classmates laughing, but she didn't understand why. When she got to the front, one girl shouted, "Yes, Alice, your parents owe you, but at least your period is up to date." Alice looked at her clothes and saw a red stain. Embarrassed and humiliated, she ran out of the room in tears, while her classmates laughed mercilessly. Whenever she could, Alice would take refuge on a bench at the back of the school during breaks, where she would find some peace by talking to God. One day, some classmates caught her praying, and when they asked her who she was talking to, she calmly replied, "God." This unleashed an even stronger wave of derision. Some said that God did not exist, because if he did, he would never have created someone as ugly and strange as her. Alice felt deeply hurt, but she continued to believe. Things got worse when her 16th birthday approached. Alice was excited, praying every day, asking God to give her new friends. But she knew that her parents would not allow her to go to the party that Giovanna, the most popular girl in school, was throwing. On the morning of her birthday, Alice woke up hoping to see a clear sky, but the weather was cloudy and windy. Already feeling discouraged, she got ready for school. When she was about to leave, her mother called her into the kitchen. A small chocolate cake was waiting for her, and her parents began to sing "Happy Birthday." Alice was moved. She was an only child and knew how difficult it was for them to prepare even a small surprise like that. After eating a slice of cake, Colette gave her a special gift, a denim jacket. Alice's heart filled with joy. She put on the sweater, hugged her parents, and told them how much she loved them, then went to school. But her happiness didn't last long. The popular girls immediately began to mock her new sweater, calling it ugly. When Alice explained that it was a gift from her mother, Joanna and the others laughed even more, promising her a present during recess. Alice, unfortunately, believed them and showed up to the appointment curious and hopeful. During recess, the girls brought her a birthday cupcake. Alice couldn't believe that someone had finally done something kind for her. But when she lit the candle, a balloon filled with water burst, soaking her new jacket. Everyone laughed as Alice, heartbroken, ran out of the room, hiding until the end of the day. When she returned home, Alice took refuge in her room and burst into tears. That evening, her father came to comfort her. She, heartbroken, confessed to him that she could no longer stand being treated so badly and that she did not understand why God allowed all this. Ray, with tenderness, said to her, "My daughter, I know you suffer, but you must continue to believe. God has a plan for you. You must be strong because you are destined for great things." If you're following this story, are you ready to see how Alice's faith will change her life? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share the video to let others know how powerful faith can be. That night, Alice fell asleep with a heavy heart, praying to God to give her the strength to resist. But her dreams were tormented. She dreamed of Joan's party, the rainy sky, and a terrible thunder. She saw a crack in the ceiling of the ballroom, which grew wider and wider until everything collapsed. A divine voice said to her, "You must help them, my daughter." Alice woke up with a start, her heart in her throat. Without thinking twice, she ran out into the rain toward the ballroom, yelling at everyone to come out. No one believed her, and in fact, some threw her out. In desperation, she pulled the fire alarm, forcing everyone out. Immediately afterward, lightning struck the ballroom, causing the ceiling to collapse. Everyone stood frozen in disbelief as they looked at Alice with new eyes. Giovanna, shocked, ran to hug her, followed by the others. With tears in their eyes, they asked her forgiveness for never having believed in her. That day, Alice felt the love of her peers for the first time and understood that God really had a plan for her. Every pain, every tear, and every prayer had prepared her for something special. Alice understood that faith is not just hoping for a miracle, but believing that every difficult moment can have a profound meaning. Even when it seems that no one is listening, God is always there, ready to guide us and never abandons us.